Alright guys, so this is a video that you're going to watch while I'm meeting with the last of our friends here to learn our next section in Chapter 1. So that quiz that you took that we're discussing and you're correcting, that was a mid-chapter quiz, which means we're halfway done for the chapter, but we still have more Chapter 1 to do. The first section after the quiz here is Session 1.4, which is about prime numbers and divisibility rules and prime factorization. It's going to take us a few days to get through this first section here. You guys have some notes that are going to go along with this video, so you should make sure you have those handy and a pencil. If you don't, pause so you can get that stuff ready to go and then hit play again, okay? So we're going to learn about prime factorization today and tomorrow. You guys, by the end of tomorrow, should be able to express a number as the product of prime factors. This little comic here hopefully will make sense to you by then. What we're going to focus on today, though, is some divisibility rules. And divisibility basically means like, can it be divided by, okay? So this slide that I'm looking at right now isn't on your little white handout of notes, but it is on a yellow sheet of paper that I gave you. So you don't need to write any of this down, but this is a good resource for you to be able to tell just by looking at a number if it's divisible by, able to be divided by, all these different numbers you see here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. Now some of these hopefully you already knew. So we're going to kind of go through some examples here, and you'll fill out on your white sheet, okay? Being able to tell just by looking at a number if you can divide it by some of these numbers. That is a really useful skill to have when you guys are like simplifying fractions, when you're trying to do long division, when we do prime factorization here, identifying prime numbers. There's lots of times when it's helpful to be able to tell, can I divide by 2? Can I divide by 3? Is it divisible by 10? Okay, so that's what we're going to practice today. All right, so make sure you got your white sheet of notes handy. First thing we're going to do, and these basically split right here, okay? So first we're going to talk about the top part here, divisible by 2. In other words, can I divide by 2 is basically what we're asking when we ask divisible by whatever number, okay? And when I say can I divide by 2, we mean without a remainder. Because technically you can divide any number by any other number. But can we divide it and get no leftovers, okay? There should be, I'm going to let you guys try all these numbers on your own because I would think you can tell by looking at these numbers here if you can divide it by 2 or not. So what I want you to do is pause the video and sort these out. Either put them in the yes area or the no area. So pause it, get it done, and then hit play when you're done. All right, hopefully you sorted out those numbers. So I'm going to show you what goes under yes, what goes under no. 38 is divisible by 2. 27 is not. 170 is divisible by 2. 354 is divisible by 2. 63 is not. 1016 is divisible by 2. 85 is not. What I want you guys to think about now is how did you know? How could you tell? And if you got any of these wrong, pause and make sure you fix it, okay, before you move on. How can we tell just by looking at a number if it's divisible by 2? Well, the way you can tell is by looking at the ones digit, the one at the very end, at the right. What do you notice about all those ones digits in those numbers that weren't divisible by 2? Hopefully what you notice is that they're all even, okay? Even numbers can be divisible by 2. All the ones over here in the no, those are all odds, okay? So that means they cannot be divided by 2. So what's the rule? How can I tell if something's divisible by 2 or not? The ones digit is even. And remember, your even numbers are 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. There's more even numbers than that, but your single digit even numbers, okay, are 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8, okay? That's also on that yellow sheet that I gave you. So if we look here, divisible by 2, the last digit is even. They give you some examples. 128 is divisible by 2. They have bolded the 8 because that's the part you need to look at. 129 is not, okay? So that's divisible by 2. Now let's take a look at divisible by 5. In other words, can you divide by 5? So again, why don't you guys pause the video and see if you can sort those out. This is one that I would also expect you guys could do without me having to review ahead of time. All right, let's see how you did. So 75, whoopsies, oh, that whole thing's connected there. There we go, 75 is a yes, you can divide that by 5. 52 is no. 190 is yes. 229 is no. 501 is no. And then 345 and 760 are yeses. So think if you can figure this out before I say it. What is the rule for 5? How can I tell if something's divisible by 5 without actually doing the division, just by looking at it? So you have to, again, look at the ones digit and look to see if it's a 0 or a 5, then it's something that you can divide by 5, okay? So ones digit is 0 or 5, and that's it. Any other ones digit means you cannot divide it by 5. So over here, 2, 9, 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 6, none of those would be divisible by 5. Only ones that end in 0 and 5. And that's also on your yellow sheet, okay? I skipped including divisible by 10 because that's hopefully super easy. So I didn't have any examples for that. Hopefully you guys would know that the way to tell if a number is divisible by 10 would be to look at the number, and if it ends in 0, if its ones digit is 0, then it's divisible by 10. So 220 you can divide by 10, but 221 you cannot, okay? All right, let's move along. That kind of ends the section of ones that I would expect you guys to know without me teaching it to you, but maybe you need a little review. These ones are really some brand new tricks, okay? So divisible by 3. Here's the trick. Let's look back at your yellow sheet. It says, you know you can divide by 3 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. So remember, sum means to add. Digits means like those individual numbers that make up your whole number there, okay? So they show 381. If I want to know if that's divisible by 3, I'm going to take each individual number there and add them up. So I'm going to add 3 plus 8 plus 1, and that's what they show right here. Well, 3 plus 8 is 11, plus 1 is 12. Will that answer, can I divide that by 3? Yes, I can. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So that means that entire number, 381, can be divided by 3 because the sum of its digits is a multiple of 3, is a number you can divide by 3. Here's an example where it doesn't work. 217, 2 plus 1 is 3 plus 7 is 10. And 10 is not a number you can divide by 3. So that means 217 is not a number you can divide by 3. I'll give you another example. Let's say we have 543. Well, 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 3 is 12. 12 is a number I can divide by 3, so that means 543 is a number I can divide by 3. So, again, pause your video, see if you can sort these into the right sections. Yes, you can divide it by 3, or no, you cannot, just by using that rule, not by actually trying to do the division. All right, let's see how you guys did. So 75, these ones are attached too, there we go, should be in your yes column, because 7 plus 5 is 12, and 12 you can divide by 3. 52 is in the no column. 5 plus 2 is 7, and 7 you can't divide by 3. 390 is in the yes column. 3 plus 9 is 12, and 12 plus 0 is still 12, and 12 you can divide by 3. 229 is a no. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 9 is 13. You can't divide 13 by 3. 501 is yes. 5 plus 0 is 5, plus 1 is 6. 6 you can divide by 3. 345 is a yes. 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 5 is 12, and 12 you can divide by 3. 763 is a no. 7 plus 6 is 13, and 13 plus 3 is 16, and 16 you can't divide by 3. So that's how you can tell if it's divisible by 3. Add up the digits. When you get your answer, if it's a multiple of 3, then your answer is yes. In other words, if you can divide it by 3, that answer, then it's a yes. If it's not, then it's a no, okay? The 9 rule is the exact same except 9, okay? So in other words, you add up all the digits, and then if you can divide that answer by 9, then the whole thing's divisible by 9. So let's take a look back at your yellow sheet. Green's done. 9. The sum of the digits is divisible by 9. So like 1,629, if I do 1 plus 6 plus 2 plus 9, 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 2 is 9, plus 9 is 18. 18 I can divide by 9, so my answer is yes. 2013, well, 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 3, that's 2, plus 1 is 3, plus 3 is 6. You can't divide 6 by 9, so that's a no. Okay, so same idea. Try your divisible by 9 ones there. Pause it, and then come back when you're ready. All right, so 75 was a yes for 3, but is a no for 9, because 7 plus 5 is 12, and 12 you cannot divide by 9. 52, also a no. 5 plus 2 is 7, can't divide 7 by 9. 414 is a yes. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9, and you can divide 9 by 9. 228 is a no, because that adds up to 12, and you can't divide 12 by 9. 501 is a no, that adds up to 6, and you can't divide 6 by 9. 342 is a yes. 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 2 is 9. And 765 is also a yes. 7 plus 6 is 13, plus 5 is 18, and you can divide 18 by 9. All right, divisible by 4. Let's check this one off. Okay, back up to 4. The last 2 digits of the number have to make a number you can divide by 4. That's the rule for 4. So like in 1,312, the last 2 digits are 12. And 12 is a number I can divide by 4. It's a multiple of 4. So that means 1,312 can be divided by 4. 7,019, well, the last 2 digits make 19, and 19 is not a number I can divide by 4, so that means the whole thing can't be divided by 4. This rule is a little tricky, because with this rule, if the last 2 digits make a number that's kind of big, and you still don't know if you can divide it by 4, then you're kind of stuck. Then you might just have to check, okay? I'm going to give you some extra examples here for divisible by 4 besides the one I have on your sheet there, okay? Some more that we can kind of talk through together. So like 320, is that divisible by 4? Well, the last 2 digits make 20, and 20 is a multiple of 4. You can divide 20 by 4. So 320 would be a yes. 7,148, the last 2 digits make the number 48. Is 48 a number you can divide by 4? Yes. So then that means 7,148 can be divided by 4. 264. Well, the last 2 digits make 64. And you might not know if 264 can be divided, or sorry, if 64 can be divided by 4. So what do? Well, maybe it's big enough that it's on your multiplication chart. You might be able to look at 4 and see if it goes over to 64, okay? If not, you might just have to actually divide if this was like the question on homework, okay? Turns out 64 can be divided by 4, so 264 would be yes. But that's my example of where sometimes this rule still isn't super helpful if that 2-digit number is still kind of big and you don't really know if you can divide it by 4 or not. 542, the last 2 digits make 42. 42 is not a number you can divide by 4, so 542 would be a no. So you guys try those ones there, pause, and then come back when you're ready. All right, so 75 is only a 2-digit number, so that means you just have to check those 2 digits to see if you can divide by 4. Well, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like the only ones that are going to be yeses are going to be even numbers. There's no odd number that you can divide by 4. So I could figure out just by looking at that this is going to be a no, which means 501 also going to be a no. But I'd also be able to tell by seeing, well, the last 2 digits make 1, and I can't divide 1 by 4. That would be a fraction. 52, you would just have to know it, okay? So you'd have to go, well, that's a little bit above my times tables. I know 4 times 12 is 48. So maybe I check my multiplication table and see that, oh, 52 is 4 and 13. So 52 is a yes. Now these other ones should be easier because the last 2 digits make a number you should know if you can divide it by 4 or not. 414, that's a no. 14 is not a number that's divisible by 4. 228, last 2 numbers make 28. That is a number you can divide by 4. 344, last 2 numbers make 44. That's a number you can divide by 4. And 760, 60, you might not know, but it can be divided by 4. It's 4 times 15, so that would also be a yes. So lots in the yes column this time. All right. Check that off, and then last one we want to talk about is 6. How's that my last one? There's no 7 and 8, Mrs. Gillespie. Well, that's because there's not really any easy way to tell just by looking at a number if you can divide it by 7 or 8. You're just going to have to actually do the long division and figure it out if that's the case, all right? So, 6. The rule is it has to be divisible by both, key here, both 2 and 3. Well, remember your 2 rule was just that it has to end in an even number, okay? It has to be even. The 3 rule we talked about above, the sum of the digits have to be a number you can divide by 3. It has to make both those rules true. And if you think about it, that should make sense because 2 times 3 is 6, right? So you have to be able to divide it by 2 and 3. So when you guys are checking numbers to see if you can divide it by 2 and 6, your first check should be if it's even. Because if it's not, it doesn't even matter if you can divide it by 3 because it doesn't meet this rule. And it's easy to check if numbers are even. If it's even, it's not necessarily a yes yet, then you still have to check and see, well, can I also divide it by 3? So look at the examples over here. You have 114. Okay, it's even. Good. Check. And then I have to add up the digits and see if I can divide it by 3. Well, 1 plus 1 is 2 plus 4 is 6. 6, excuse me. And 6 you can divide by 3, so that's a yes. 308, if you add those up, is 11. And 11 you can't divide by 3. So that's a no. And there we go. Okay, so again, you guys try. And then unpause when you're ready. All right, so 75 isn't even, it's odd. So it's automatically a no, okay? If it's odd, it can't be divided by 6. How about 52? Well, it's even, so now I should check for the 3's rule. Well, 5 plus 2 is 7, and you can't divide 7 by 3, so that's also a no. 414, it's even, good. Add it up. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. 9 I can divide by 3, so 414 can be divided by 6. 228 is even. Can I divide it by 3? Well, 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 8 is 12. Yep, I can divide 12 by 3, so that means it's divisible by 2 and 3. It's divisible by 6. 501 is odd, so it's a no. 344 is even. 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 4 is 11. Well, can't divide 11 by 3, so that's a no. 768 is even. 7 plus 6 is 13, plus 8 is 21. So that one's a no. So just 2 answers there. That can be divided by 6. All right, now you guys are ready to do your homework. Your homework is a joke worksheet where you're going to be circling. If you read the directions in each row, it's going to say like divisible by 2, divisible by 3, divisible by 5. There are 3 and only 3 numbers in each row that are divisible by that number on the side. So you have to circle the 3 that work. If you only find 2, you're still missing one. If you find 4, one of those is wrong, okay? You do not have to do the joke part of the worksheet, just the circling of the numbers. All right.